Hola from the west side. It's me, DCThePurpleDiva, and welcome to Not So Random Chat. Happy Sunday, and thank you for coming. Hey, how are you, Blind Needle? Thanks for coming in. So, Blind Needle, thanks for coming. Let me just turn this down. I always do that. I swear to God. When I try to pull it up on my phone. Let me get it up. All right, so now I got the sound down on there so I can follow the chat on the phone because it takes forever for it to come up in StreamYard. But how I wanted to start I wanted to start it out by talking about child safety in schools and about the rules that I'd say it looks like it's in a lot of schools, but it's definitely in the state of California where the teachers cannot touch the children. They cannot have physical contact with the child. And hey, Crafty Yarn, Darla, thank you for coming in. Crafty Yarn Owl, because it's the Crafty Yarn Owl. That's right. Because you do most of your crafting at night. See, I remember you said that in your video. But yeah, I want to talk about child safety and, the fact that in most states now, teachers cannot have any physical contact with children. Now, I'm going to assume in the 19 states where corporal punishment is still allowed, that they can have physical contact with the students. Now, and my issue is not around things like, getting into an altercation with a student, arm wrestling with a student, or anything like that, or anything that may be of a improper nature. But what I'm talking about is that because of this rule, you have children who are on the special needs platform where it also applies for them too, because it's across the board. It doesn't matter if the child is in regular education classes or special education classes. And I can tell you some of the kids on the autism spectrum are runners. Some of the kids may be self-injurious to themselves. You have the situation where a child down in the Orange School District here in California, who was severely autistic, got a hold of a golf cart and was killed because they crashed the golf cart. And part of what was said is that the teachers could not physically touch him. They did, however, try to get to the golf cart, but it was too late at that point. But if they could have been able to touch the student and keep him from getting on the golf cart, he might still be alive. Because part of the issue, who else is coming? Hey, Soul Alchemy. Hey, Edward. Thank you guys for coming in. Please remember to smash that like button. Part of the issue that I have is that I understand that part of this is because of lawsuits that parents have, waged against school districts. And this is partly to protect, the teachers and to also protect the school districts. But it's a crazy rule. It's a crazy rule because now you have some students who are not protected and are not safe at school. And in an insane instance, you're handicapping teachers from being able to make sure that those children are safe in the classroom. Hey, Miss Veronica, thank you for coming in. I'm discussing child safety in schools. So my issue is not with the rule, but it's with how literal the rule is being instituted in all situations. Because I can understand if you've got two students, especially if they're in high school, who are engaging in a fight, that it might be dangerous for a teacher to try to step in and stop that because they may be injured. I understand that. But if you've got a child who's on the autism spectrum, who's a runner, and nobody can go after that child because they run, not even the paraeducators, does this make sense? Does this make sense to anyone? You know? And, you know, I've talked to a couple of teachers, you know, here in the area that I am in that are with, you know, like the Los Angeles Unified School District. And, you know, they've given me their perspective. And I understand, but from my perspective, even though my son is no longer in school, I just think that there has to be some middle ground that we can come to in regards to this, because, you know, if teachers can't touch the students, then answer me why we have a police officer on a school campus in the state of New Mexico who body slams a student. The teachers can't touch them, but then this police officer can do improper damage to a child. And I mean, we also have the other instance where the little girl, in another instance, clipped the police officer's leg, and this is a different one. I don't even know what state that was in. And again, kid is body slammed. So I'm not understanding. So a teacher couldn't even protect the student from something like that. I'm just saying, especially when you're dealing with a special needs child. And I'm going to tell you that during my son's matriculation through school, we did have an incident where he did become physical in the classroom. And I think this must have been before this law was instituted in the state that I'm in, or at least in the district that my son was in. And people did, you know, stop him from doing what he was doing. And they had him in the office, and he was aggressive. And they, you know, they had us come up to the school in regards to that. And yes, and then he got suspended. But someone intervened. They didn't let the behavior continue. They had to touch him in order to intervene. You know, so, you know, I understand that they want to try to use words, you know, to de-escalate situations, or to do what needs to be necessary because of these rules. But that's not always going to work when you're dealing with children that are in special education, and especially when you're dealing with children that are on the autism spectrum. And I do understand that there is also a spectrum of what kinds of things can happen, and that's and this is a result of that. And because of some parents suing the school district because of improper handling of their children, but you now have situations where teachers are being accused of abuse of the student because they didn't step in. So where do we go, guys? Where do we go with this? You know, it's like it's a no-win situation. And of course, we want to make sure that our teachers are safe in the classroom and you know, are not in fear, you know, of situations with students. But there has to be some type of training and, you know, things that can be done in order for teachers to be able to use physical contact when necessary when you're dealing with this specific group of students. And it has to be where they're not in fear that they're going to get sued because they stopped the child from banging his head on the wall. You know, I don't know if I'm making sense to you guys with my, with the conversation on this, but it's just a really, really touchy situation for me because it's like we're at an extreme. And I understand, that in many situations, school districts are trying to protect their bottom line from a legal standpoint with lawsuits. But do we think we've gone too far? Do we think maybe we've gone too far with that? I mean, I know maybe part of the idea is to get away from corporal punishment, which we pretty much have gotten away from all over the country. There's still 19 states that still allow it, but I don't believe they allow it to the degree that it used to be allowed, But I could be wrong in regards to that. But for me, it just seems like we've got to come to some type of happy medium with this. And I'm wondering if this is a similar practice that's going on in other countries with their school systems. You know what I mean? Or is this just a problem that we have here in the United States? I'm going to need to do some research on that, to see if it's just here that we have this kind of ridiculously rented lips today, ridiculously stringent rule that, well, I'll just say that it's being interpreted so that it becomes stringent. And it just appears to be crazy because this rule doesn't just apply to schools. It also applies to, like, if kids are at camps and stuff, like when they go to summer camp or if they're in the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts and everything. And so, like I said, I know part of it has to do with people being extreme in corporal punishment. Part of it has to do with people doing improper physical contact. And that happening, and yes, I know that has been things that have happened with kids who are on who are special needs and may not be verbal, and they couldn't tell anybody, and then and then years later the parents find out about it, or months later. So I totally understand all of those situations. I'm just trying to think, where do we draw the line so that we're still protecting our children when they're at school? I mean, I think it's a legitimate question, but we also have to deal with the fact that now, since they can't do anything, a lot of times we now have law enforcement who's getting involved, and they're clearly not trained to deal with students, period, much less students who happen to be special needs and may have a developmental disability, because we've had two instances where a kid was body slammed. One was a special needs young lady. The other was a young lady who was not special needs, but they were both around the same age, middle schoolers, or somewhere in the, like, somewhere between the 4th to 5th grade. So I just don't understand. Hey, DLD, how are you? Yeah, I'm kind of ranting, or just kind of going on about the silly law that we have. Well, the law that we have that is being interpreted silly about no physical contact with students whatsoever. But it's resulted in the death of one student here in California and resulted in another student wandering a mile away from school, both of whom are special needs children, because this rule is across the board, no matter whether the child is special needs or not. They're not supposed to touch them at all for any reason, you know? So it just seems like the rule is being taken to the extreme. They don't have any special circumstances. They don't have any leeway. And it leaves educators in a bind because they really are supposed to be protecting their students, and still they can't for students that might need it. And it could be the same thing for a student who's in the regular population, you know. But I'm talking about like in school districts like LA Unified, they have a lot of children who are special needs who are mainstream, which means they're in the classroom with all the other students. So there's not any differentiation made from that standpoint. But still, if you've got a situation, you need to be able to handle that differently if the child is a special needs child. I'm just saying. But so DOD, I understand your team won. Cheers for that. I'm not particularly a Cowboy fan. And I like Kirk Cousins, even though he's no longer with the Redskins. He's a good quarterback. So that was my rant about the school districts. I don't know. I'm really going to do some more research in regards to that, because I really want to see if it's fat, mean, greasy. Well, you know, it only benefits me from the standpoint that I like anybody to beat the Cowboys. So that's a happy day for me anytime, you know, because, you know, my team is definitely rebuilding. Heck, you know, we got to decide who we want to be when we grow up. But congratulations to you guys on the win against the Cowboys, the Cowgirls, as I call them. That was a good thing. Y'all did good. I was a little worried coming off last week if y'all were going to have enough left for it. But that's good. I'm glad. And I think that was a night game, too. Yeah, that was a night game tonight. I watched like the first quarter of it. You know. Yes, I am live, Latu. I am live. You caught me live. Yeah, I was concerned, but they came in there and did what they needed to do. Thank God, because those Cowboys are a fourth quarter team. That's all I'm going to say. They can come back to life on you. They can come back to life on you in the fourth quarter. I am doing good, Latu. I am doing good. I am doing good. So I do have a video coming for you guys on what I call the dark side of autism. But every time I get ready to do the video, we have a meltdown situation that day. So I don't do the video. We had a meltdown situation today earlier. So I didn't do the video today because I was supposed to do the video today and upload it. So I don't know. I'm thinking I'm going to have to do that as maybe a story time or something where I'm like taking a walk and talking about it. But I don't know because it's a kind of touchy talk for me. What were we talking about? I was talking about here in the United States, for the most part, there is a rule that teachers cannot touch students for any reason whatsoever. And it's an issue when you're dealing with kids who are on the autism spectrum because sometimes you need to physically touch them in order to keep them from harming themselves. And because of that rule, a young man in Orange County, California is dead. I understand the rule. I understand the logic behind the rule. I just think that there should be some circumstances where that rule has special considerations because the rule is in place to keep from getting sued. Okay, so you follow the rules. They follow the rules in this situation with this young man in Orange County. Do you think that the school district is still going to get sued? Heck yeah, they're getting sued. They're getting sued. Now, I don't know if the parents are going to win the lawsuit, because of that rule, but they're suing them. Yep, they are suing. But it's the rule it's the rule apparently in most of the United States. There's only 19 states that'll still allow corporal punishment. So I'm assuming if they allow corporal punishment in those 19 states, that they can still physically touch a child. So I'm hoping that in those 19 states, they can at least, stop something if a child is injuring themselves. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong on that. They may only be allowed to do corporal punishment in lieu of detention or whatever, And then I was congratulating Deacon of Defense on his team beating the Cowgirls today. Because I like any team that beats the Cowgirls. I like any team that beats the Cowgirls. But yeah, I'm going to do some more research on that because I really want to see if that's just something that's here in the United States or if other countries have, similar rules around that, I have a feeling that it's not as global, but I could be wrong, I'm just assuming that when you're dealing with kids that are special needs and things that can happen with them where they can't control themselves and need assistance, that it would make sense in that situation. So, but this is apparently a new rule because they were able to do things when my son was younger. And if you're stopping my kid from injuring himself or injuring another person, why would I sue the school district for that if all you did was just stop him? You didn't hurt him. You didn't do anything. You know what I'm saying? So, part of it is maybe teachers feel that when they do something that it might be to the extreme or it may be perceived to the extreme. I don't know. Oh, I'll repost it. No problem. It is almost 10 o'clock at night here, Latu. I am on Pacific Standard Time because we are no longer on daylight savings time in the United States. So I know like for my friends who are in the UK, I know it's like in the middle. I know it's like early in the morning, like early in the morning for them. So I'm pretty sure it's early in the morning for you in SA too. Okay, so it's not that bad. It's a little later for you in the morning. That's not bad. That's not bad. But it's like I think 4 or 5 in the morning in the UK. Because usually my friends in the UK usually will jump on during the last hour of my show. I know you feel good. I know you feel good. You guys are doing good. Hey, I'd certainly rather see you guys in the championship, you know, in the NFC championship than the Cowboys. Trust me. Don't nobody want to see them. Nobody wants to see them except for Cowboy fans. They're the only ones who want to see them. I know. But like once I get my hours, I'm going to probably then not be on like 7 days a week like I am right now, like a mad woman. Then I'll probably do it like maybe 2 or 3 times a week, but I still want to do it, and you know, because you know, it's like my own digital talk show. You know, and I can always, you know, kind of bring commentary, and once I start doing panels, like I said, we can just have like different topics, because it doesn't always have to be around autism, but you know, I always find a way to bring that into it. I was trying to find a way to I have a way to bring that in. But yeah, today my son had a meltdown. It wasn't a bad meltdown, but I got bit. Yeah, I got bit, y'all. And oh, this happened in public. Gotta love the public meltdown. It happened in public. It happened at church. It was good other than the meltdown. It was good other than that, you know. And I don't know what it was. I don't know if he. Well, I know what it was. He didn't want to take off his hats. He didn't want to uncover his face. You know what I've been talking to you guys about. You know, getting him to stop putting hats on, covering his face, and doing all that stuff because it's dangerous for him as a black man. So yeah. So we're, you know, we haven't started his ADA yet, but that's going to be the first thing that we're going to work on. He is 24. He's 24, Latu. He just made 24. You know, so it's kind of imperative, you know, and he's not a little young man, young adult at all. He's very tall. You know, he's over 6 feet. You know, so it's a safety issue. So we're working on it with him. I have them working with him on at work and everything. And you know, we're just gonna have the slip ups, and we're gonna just go through this until we get it to the point where it's done only when it's proper. If it's cold outside, then you put a hat on. If it's not cold outside, you don't put a hat on. Plain and simple.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Do I have to stay at home? I work from home, Latu. I do work from home because of that. Yes, I work from home because of that. But he actually goes to a work program during the day. He's not in like a full-time work program. That's where we're getting him to, where he's able to work. But he wants to work in the entertainment industry. So we have to get his behaviors under control for him, so that he can go into that into the training program for that, because they have a program specifically for people that are autistic to get into the industry. You know, another reason why I'm still in California. because my son wants to go into music, and and the program to get him the training is here. Yeah, those are for you. You can take those. Hey, Matt, how you doing? Yeah, so it's so I mean, just because of the climate here in the United States, Latu, in regards to our people, and especially our young men, and how they are perceived, and the lack of police training in being able to differentiate someone who is on the spectrum versus someone who is not, it's a safety issue for him, because they don't have good training at all. It's horrible. They don't know how to deal with mental health issues. They don't know how to deal with people who have developmental disabilities. So there's just not enough training and not enough time put into it, because apparently it's not important. And I'm just saying that because, you can just think about all of the people who've had mental health issues that something has happened to tragically. And there have been people who are adults on the autism spectrum that something has happened to with law enforcement. And sometimes it's happened when they've had a meltdown because somebody didn't know what was going on, and then the police come, and then it's a sad situation. Sad situation. So yeah, there's just certain things that you have to help someone on the spectrum to work on if they're going to be productive in society. And I want my son to be a productive member of society, especially because he's an African American man, and he's brown. My family's both, so yeah. But it's just really, really important, and it will be good for his self-esteem and for his self-worth. He don't want to sit around the house doing nothing, collecting a check. I mean, you got people out there that's what they want to do, but it's not. But I can tell you, the people who are trapped in that, who can't get a job because of being developmentally disabled, not because they're not employable, they don't want that. He don't want to be at home. He wants to be doing something. And so my job is to help him to get to what it is that he wants to do to the best of my abilities. To the best of my abilities. But how was everybody's weekend? It was a good weekend here in California. We, of course, have all the heat for the nation. And I'm sure Arizona had a little heat. I'm sure Nevada had some, but the most of the country, y'all, it's cold. I know it's cold for mostly everybody, but us out here in the West. And I'm sorry. That's all I can say. But with it being warmer here, we are also in fire season because not a drop of rain is falling right now. So we need some rain. I don't care about the heat. We need some rain. We need some rain out here in the West so that it can be some normalcy, but we keep doing so much to the atmosphere. Who knows? We're probably doing things that are causing all these crazy, abnormal, winter conditions around the country. Yeah. Hey, Terry. Thank you. I'm glad you had a great day. I'm glad. Yeah, but my day was mainly good. I mean, outside of, the meltdown. Are we going to share the potato chips? Outside of the meltdown. Other than that, everything was groovy. Everything was groovy today, And 2 days and counting till I have me a nice new big screen in my house. So that'll be nice. And then my son will also not have to look at a reminder of his meltdown experience. Oh, you mean this is only chat you can come in and there's no arguing? Hey, absolutely. We ain't about that over here. You know that. You know that, Matt. Everybody has an opinion, and we respect opinions over here. You don't have to agree. Oh, DLD. We had a troll. Was it last night or was it the night before? I think it was the night before last. Yeah, the night before last. Yeah. I have a hater. Yeah, I have a hater now. I don't care. I think they were mad because they thought that I was making fun of their comment. I really wasn't. I just really wasn't paying attention to it. I just wasn't paying attention to what they were saying. Because we were near the end of the chat and they came in talking about UFOs. So you know, I'm like, oh God, here we go. So they cursed out the live stream and I kicked them out. Because we're all about positivity over here. I don't care. People can have different opinions. Yeah, Matt, you remember that troll was tripping. Me don't have time for trolls. You will get kicked out quickly. You know, especially because things that we're talking about are not conversations that trolls need to come through on. It should bore them to tears, you know. There's no drama. Yes, he had a meltdown today. I got bit.
All right. Yeah.
But we're in a good space now. You know. Hey, Zaida. Or did I pronounce your name right? Zaida. How are you? Thank you for coming to the chat. Please don't forget to smash that like button. How are you doing tonight, Zaida? Hope you're having a good night. Okay. Glad you're having a good night. So, yeah, the meltdown was not a happy situation, but I'm not going to really talk about it that much right now, Terry, other than to say that because of that, my video on the dark side of autism is delayed because I was going to actually do it today. So I got to wait and do it now. But, you know, I have a very smart son over here, and he knows when I'm talking about him. And he's sitting right here. So I'm going to go to a different conversation. Oh, I know I told you guys last night about D-Smoke. You know, my nosy butt talked. I didn't talk to his mom because she was kind of busy, but I was talking to his grandmother, who's also my friend today. So yeah, he actually won that competition that's now airing on Netflix on Rhythm and Flow. He won that competition back in March. And you guys definitely got to go look at it. Check him out. Check him out out here on YouTube. Check out his music. He's a conscious rapper. And he raps in English and in Spanish. And he got his degree in Spanish from UCLA. Okay, bye, Zaida. Thank you for coming. I've noticed that the more I go live, that I get people that just, you know, pop into the lives to see what you're talking about, but you don't even know. Well, they wanted to they tried to compare him to Kendrick Lamar because they're both here on the West Coast, but he's not like Kendrick Lamar. They're different, but they both are coming from a conscious place. But D-Smoke is from Inglewood, and he basically, his perspective is basically like of somebody who was able to navigate through the gangs and stuff and not be part of it and everything. And he attributes that primarily to the fact that his father was in the home. Even though his dad did go to prison, but his dad, by the time he was 8, his dad was back in the home and never went back to prison. And because of that, he attributes that to him being, you know, not going that path and going the education and the music path instead. And all three, him and his two of his brothers, all three of them didn't all went the music path and not the gang path. But his oldest brother, who was a teenager at the time that their dad went to prison, did. I mean, he was like a full-blown gangbanger, you know, full-blown blood, full-blown. And I know Ron, so yeah, I believe it. I believe it. You know, but yeah, you guys definitely need to check him out. He's 33 years old. He is a former high school teacher. Yeah, he's fire. He is fire. Let me just say that. His final performance, when he won the show, was this song called "The Last Supper." But people are like banging this other song that he has out called "When the Kids Pull Up," that tells a little bit about his life. But "The Last Supper" is dope. He starts off that song playing the piano, and it's fire. It's fire. So, you know, check him out because he's on his way up. He did not have to sign a record deal with that $250K, and he already had projects ready, and he's just going to be putting them out because he was already in the ready for this opportunity when it came. And although you may not have heard of him, He's written songs for other people. He's the one who wrote the song Never for Jaheim. It's called Rhythm and Flow on Netflix. The name of the show is Rhythm and Flow. And the artist is D Smoke. Super good. Super good. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He's a musician. Their whole family. The whole family. The whole family. All right. Cool. Thank you for coming in and letting me play, Latu. I know you about to go to work. A lot of folk here in the United States have today off. I'm not one of them on Monday. My son is. He's off tomorrow. But you know, that's because the staff don't want to work. So they don't want to work. Then the clients who are coming there for the training don't come to work. So it's all good. It is all good that he has a day off, because that just means that I can start work early in the morning and might actually, since I now have the ability to go live from my phone, because I got my community tab yesterday, I might do a live, like an impromptu live from my phone, because I don't have to set that up or anything in StreamYard and everything. Tomorrow is the day that we commemorate those who have served and are serving, veterans. I know you don't do any holidays, DOD, but I do honor those who serve. Oh yeah, I do. I watch it. I watch it on replay, Matt. Yeah, Terry, that was crazy. That was crazy, Terry. Terry, did you see her update today as to go forward? I hope it stays that way. We need peace around here. Yep. Yeah, no, I like Walking Dead. I watched, what did I watch earlier? I watched part of Real Housewives of Atlanta. But I kind of was watching it, and of course I was watching it on YouTube. Somebody was playing it. I don't know how they get away with that. You know, playing the show while it's actually playing. I don't know how they do that. You know what, Terry? You're just being yourself and you're just being real. And folks can't deal with it. That's it. Point blank, period. You know? That crabs in a barrel mentality. Crabs in a barrel. It's really what it is. You know? If you don't agree with them, they have a problem with it. That's why I just agree to disagree. They not giving. I'm like, ain't nobody I don't know on YouTube gonna get me into an argument. Ain't nobody on YouTube that I don't know gonna raise my blood pressure. I don't care. I don't have to agree with you. You can say whatever you want. You can sound silly to me if you want, and I'm entitled to my opinion. I know, Matt. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, well, hey, it's not my channel. I'm not gonna get no copyright strike, so I just watch it for free. You just gotta catch them. You gotta catch those streams. But now, YouTube used to snatch that stuff down when they tried to do that. Now they just let it go. I don't even understand. It's not my business though, because I don't own YouTube. So, but yeah, I'm like, heck, if you don't have Bravo, you can just watch it on somebody's channel. But then Bravo puts it on the next day. They put the whole show on the next day with no commercials on their YouTube channel for free. You know, but I just watched a little bit of it. I didn't see no Nene still, so I don't know what's going on with her. You know, I've seen all the rumors swirling around about why she's not on the show right now. But in my head, I'm like, girl, how you gonna screw up that paycheck? You know? And it's a nice paycheck for her too. Nice paycheck for her. Although Miss Kenya Moore has made it known that she is not the one who makes the most money. That the person who actually makes the most money on that show is Candy, which makes the most sense. Makes the most sense. Because she's making plenty of bag outside of the show, and she used that show to leverage her bag outside of the show, and she tends to stay out of the drama. But let's just say, even though Candy's a little short something, I don't think anybody on there is going to try her, because I think if you take her to 10, she's going to go to 100. And she's likely to beat somebody's behind with her little short butt. That's what I think. But yeah, it makes perfect sense to me that Candy is now making the biggest bag, and that's probably one of the reasons why, you know, her and Nene don't get along, you know, because Nene's a hater. But I'm like, hater, hate all. You're still making a big pile of change on there. You know what I mean? And doesn't seem like you're getting any acting gigs. So you might want to be nice on The Real Housewives and not get yourself suspended or whatever the heck happened. For whatever reason, she not getting a check for the first 2 episodes or so. That's what I'm saying. Candy will drag them. I'm like, don't let that little girl short pint size fool you. She is not the one. She is not the one. You know? The only thing that's holding Candy back is that she got the most to lose out of anybody. That's the only thing that holds Candy back from tearing into somebody's behind. That's the only thing that's holding her back. Because she's the one who has the most to lose. That's why she don't let these women take her there. That's exactly why she don't let these women take her there. Because you know, if she didn't mop the floor with Portia when she should have, when Portia was making those lying allegations about her back in the day, again, because she had the most to lose, that's the only thing that's holding her back. That's the only thing that's holding her back from doing anything. Is Candy ain't stupid. She's not gonna let anything get in front of her coin. So that's the reason why ain't nobody got dragged by Candy up in there. That's what I'm saying. She, you know, she's short, but she could probably sling one of them women across the daggone room. And you know what they say, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Yeah, because I'll just say, I've had some people in my lifetime when I was younger and I was about that life that have stepped to me because they looked at me. They figured because I'm, I'm like model type size, but I'm a tall girl. I'm not short, but they assume because I look like I can't fight that I can't fight, and then they got dragged. Yep. Then they got dragged. So, but I'm not about that life anymore. I'm too old for that stuff. I'm too old for that stuff these days. But there was a time where, yeah, you could have took me there. But yeah, I ain't trying to catch a case. So we don't do that anymore. Yeah, Portia is not the brightest, brightest one. She just really isn't. She's not very bright. She's pretty, but yeah, she don't have a whole bunch of common sense. I'll say that part. Oh yeah, you talking about yeah. Well, I did watch a couple of her things. I watched them, because I was out when she was making the videos today, but I did watch them. And she said she's gonna change the way she's doing her thing. I hope so, because I'm like, I want her to be in a different on a different plane. Yeah. Yeah, she's thick. Sometimes you like lights on, nobody's home with Portia. But she got that big ass booty. So, that's what all the men are looking at. Man. And she's pretty. So she get away with that. She's a thick girl. But hey, when you're a thick girl like that, she just gotta watch it, because a pound in the wrong place and she fat, because she not tall. That's the thing. That's the one thing about being tall like I am, that I would literally have to gain a significant amount of weight for somebody to notice that I've gained. I gotta gain. I gotta be up to like about 20 pounds, and then you'll notice that I've gained some weight. But anything between there, it doesn't look like I've really gained that much weight. Doesn't really look like I gained weight. But once I get to that, yeah, then you can see it on me. But yeah, she's a thickums. Yeah, that southern diet. That southern diet will do it. I am 5'9", and with heels, I'm over 6 foot. And with heels on, I'm over 6 foot. But I got, my dad's tall. My mom wasn't, but my dad is tall. His mom was tall. I'm the same height as my grandmother was. So I'm on the taller end, but my son's father's family they're all tall. Like his grandmother on his dad's side is 6 foot tall. And and two of his 3 aunts is 6 foot tall. And the aunt that's not 6 foot tall, she's my height. Yeah. And most of his cousins, most of the girls are tall too. So yeah, everybody in that family is tall. I'm tall, but he got height from both sides. And his dad's not really that tall, because he's taller than his dad. He's taller than his dad. He's like at least 2 inches, maybe about 2 inches taller than his dad. Yes, I'm talking about you. I'm talking about that you're tall. You're tall. Tall. Yes. Told y'all he knows what I'm talking about. You know? But I'm not saying anything bad, okay? I'm like, I'm not saying anything bad about you. But yeah, he's a tall young man. And I'm tall too. I'm short next to my son. I'm not that short. I'm tall. I am tall. And I look taller than I am because I'm usually wearing heels. Usually. Exactly. Hey, Blind Needle, you back? You back? I'm only short, DLD, if you're like 6.5 feet. If you're like 6.5 feet, then yeah, I might be short too. I know I'm short to my son. I know I'm short to him. I know I'm short to him. Yep, I'm short to him. And he tells me I'm short too. Yeah, exactly. And she makes the most money on Real Housewives. She makes the most money too. She makes more money than Nene. You know, I think it's Candy, then Nene, then Kenya, because she brings drama. They love it. And she gets under Nene's skin. You know, but Candy's net worth is growing. She, you know, because she keeps finding more and more businesses, you know, more and more pots to put her hand in, more and more businesses. You know, just think about the fact that she took a negative situation that Portia's words got her into and turned that into some money. Turned that into money. Toured the country using that. You know, had women coming up into them concerts dressed in lingerie and stuff. Smart businesswoman. Smart business, yeah, and exactly. That was the first thing she did when she first. That was the first thing she did when she first got on the Housewives. She started her sex toy line. That was the first thing she did. You know, and then and that blew up. I mean, she'd have made a lot of women into thousandaires. She'd have made a whole lot of women into thousandaires. You know. Does she? Ah, that's your type, Terry. Shoot, I think Candy's is a pretty woman, and she looks the same as she did when she was younger too. Oh yeah. That was Riley. Yep. And then they came back and changed it, and that was definitely a mistake. Yeah. Candy is interesting with her. I mean, just seeing that stuff that she had in her tour. She's probably, I would say she's definitely into BDSM. BDMS. Is it BDMS? Yeah, BDMS. She likes some stuff. Definitely she likes some stuff. You know, but shoot. You know, she's a grown woman with a husband and kids. So I don't see nothing wrong with it. Yeah, no, I know that's what I'm saying. It was that's what I mean. It was a mistake from that standpoint, DOD. It was a mistake in, you know, Riley doing something stupid. That's what I meant. And they pull that thing down. The swinger life is alive in the ATL. Well, you know, hey, it's alive in a lot of places, Matt. They be doing that old crazy stuff out here in Cali too. I have known people who were into it. You know, I have known people who are into it. You know, and into the other scenes, you know, voyeurism, you know, all that. Just yeah. I mean, out here, because, you know, like at one point this was the capital, the sex trade capital as far as film. They had all kinds of crazy stuff going on out here. I mean, I'm sure it still goes on, but you know, hey, I'm older. I don't really know people who swing in those circles anymore. So, you know. But I did. Why didn't nobody say they don't need love? You know, and everybody, you know, most people have their other side, you know. They just only share it with whoever they're with. That's all. You know. Gotta keep some mystery. Everybody don't need to know. That's all I'm saying. You know? Because most men like, you know, a lady in the streets and you know what in the sheets. That's what most men like. Or at least that's what they say they like. Yeah, it's not my thing either. It's not my thing either, Matt. But you know, I was aware because I knew people who were into that kind of stuff. They would, you know, let me know about them. I said, no, I'm good. Thank you. Shoot. I'm like, that's a complicated situation y'all are putting yourselves into. You know, I mean, it just really is a complicated situation. I mean, that's like, that reminds me of that place they have in Jamaica, Hedonism and Hedonism 2. Yeah, they do a lot of stuff down there on vacation. I know some friends who have been there too. Couple of people I know been down to that place. And then that place was on when they used to have that show on HBO called Real Sex. They had it on that show. Then they also had this group that I know called the Punani Poets were also on there. And I'm friends with Jessica Holter, who's actually the person who started that group. She lives in the ATL now, though. She used to live in the Bay Area in Oakland. But now she lives in Atlanta. But I know she's not into that swinger scene down there. She's I don't know. I think she considers she's part of the alphabet community. Yeah, that's what she considers herself, part of the alphabet community. It's easier to say the alphabet community than to mess up the letters. Even though I know how to say it, I always have to think about it. I do know a lot of people. I told you I was in the music industry at one point. You see a lot of stuff, you know, and I lived in the Valley. I had neighbors who were in the sex entertainment industry. Telling you. You know, and then at another time in my life, I lived like right down the street from Alyssa Milano. When I lived in Sherman Oaks, California, she lived like maybe a few buildings down from me. This was back when she was doing. No, this was before Charmed. This was like when she was in her early 20s and stuff, when she was married to whoever that dude was she was married to before she was married to who she's married to now. But yeah, I lived in the Valley for a long time, you know, and you know, when you go to parties in the industry, even if you're just, you know, hanging out and stuff, you see a lot of stuff. You meet a lot of people. You see a lot of people. And I do have friends who are actors and actresses. You know, people I went to school with, etc. Yeah, we don't do threesome, menage a trois. Yeah, I'm too old for that. Now, back in the day, that might have been a possibility when I was young. And they didn't have so many things floating around as they do these days. But yeah, that could be problematic. You know, and I would never want to do it with two guys. And I would never want the guy that I'm with to do the other girl. So we would have a problem. Told you I don't like sharing. So that's why a threesome would probably not work for me. That's why it probably would not work for me. You know? You know, and then if you do it with two guys, how does that look? How does that look? I'm just thinking in the current environment. People did a lot of stuff, you know, back in the 70s and 80s that just shouldn't be done anymore. You know, but hey, people are consenting adults, they do what they want to do. But in most situations, that doesn't work out really, really well because, you know, somebody usually ends up wanting to do things without the third person that's not their mate. You know, I mean, that you know, they usually want to do it with that other person by themselves and will go and sneak and do stuff. It just becomes a really big fat mess. See? Oh, see, you did it with, 2 females? Oh, yeah. Mm. And they were together, and they incorporated you, and they wanted to incorporate you. Yeah, that's it. Comes a mess. Somebody gets mad. Ha. Yeah, okay. Not that kind of sharing. Not that kind of sharing. Not that kind of sharing. Sharing is only caring when it comes to smashing that like button up in here. Or sharing out my channel. If you have a community tab, that's the only kind of sharing I want. Yeah, but people still do it. I mean, because that's why you have these brothers on here talking about polygamy. You know, where the guy has several women. So I mean, heck, they talk about more than a threesome. You know, they're talking about, having multiple wives or, multiple women in a relationship openly. And they think that women should be okay with that because of the ratio of men to women. Depends on what age range you're in, is what I keep saying. I don't see no shortage of men necessarily. I mean, there may be not as many quality men depending on what age range you're in, but I don't think that those same men who advocate for the sharing would want the woman to be doing the same thing to them. I'm just saying. Oh, they tricked you into it. It brought you into their drama. Oh, I see what you're saying, Terry. Okay, you got the same kind of body type. That's what I was saying. That's your type. I don't really have a type. My type is black. That's my type. No, I do have. I guess I do have a type. Apparently, I like, big guys. I don't like skinny guys. Apparently, because that seems to be most of the time the guys that I've dated in the past, including the guys that I married, my ex-husband, like basketball player or football player. But maybe that's just the guys that like me. I don't know. Maybe I'm their type. That's hilarious, Terry. That's hilarious. Talk about Todd like that. Once you go black, you never go back. Well, I mean, I've had lunch with somebody who wasn't, and I might have gone out with them, but never got serious, I got worn down by a couple of guys that were not black to just go out with them. So I did. Okay. But that's as far as it went. Because I think my father would have lost his freaking mind. My mom, I don't know. My mom, I think my mom was probably more worried about whether my brother brought somebody that wasn't black home. I think she was more worried about my brother than she was worried about me and my sister. You know, because when my brother was younger, you know, and out here in Cali, and my brother is a very, very chocolate man, but he's real handsome, you know. But yeah, black girls weren't trying to talk to him. He had white girls were chasing my brother, and he wasn't into them. But that's who was trying to date him, you know. And we were all worried. I was like, "Hey, what's going on, dude? What's going on?" And he was like, "Look, that's who wants to date me." He says, "But I want to go out with you know, black girls." He's like, "I'm just waiting for one of them to want to go out with me." Todd's a bobblehead. You know, but yeah. But you know, once my brother got older, he had no problem. Because my brother is 6'6". Okay. He's 6'6". He's a dark man with good hair. Yep. That part. No problems. Because once he got older, yeah, then the sisters were definitely checking for him. They started checking for him when he got older. But when he was younger, you know, like up into high school, yeah. But once he got to be 18, you know, then I think the little black girl started to have some sense and started checking for him. But he had a complex about that for a little while, you know. He had a complex about that. Me and my sister really had to have some conversations with him growing up about that. I'm like, nah, dude, them girls are chicken heads. They tripping. That's what we would say. They are tripping. Don't worry. You are not ugly. It's coming. You know? And my niece, his daughter, my niece Liberty, she's like about my son's complexion. So she's like close to her dad's complexion, and she looks just like my brother. And I told him, I said, see? I said, now you have a chocolate daughter, just like you are a chocolate man. I said, and I said, hopefully she won't go through the same things that you did, you know, with the freaking colorism. But my niece is cute, so I don't think she's gonna have that problem. Oh, no problem. We figured you might be. I'm doing good, Miss Blind Needle. I am doing good. We keep rolling the conversation. I was like, yeah, but those chicks on Real Housewives of Atlanta, supposedly this is supposed to be a really, really good season. We'll see. I don't know. I only watch it for free, so you know, I'm not giving Bravo any actual money. I'm not going to actually give them any money. I'm not going to give them any money any more than I'm giving VH1 any money. We do not do cable TV here. We do Netflix, you know, because, you know, that's not that much. But that's all we get. Oh, you working on a pattern, Blind Needle? That's cool. Who was? Tell is who was Terry? Did I miss something? Oh, you are so sweet, Blind. You are so sweet, Blind Nita. Who are we talking about, Terry? Who are you asking me about, or were you talking to somebody else? Don't know. Were you talking to me? Okay. Okay. You're funny. Just you. Okay, just you. Okay. Is there a game tomorrow? Is there a football game tomorrow night? Somebody in this chat has to know. I know your team played today, DLD, so you probably don't care if there's a game tomorrow. Yes, I did. I did go to school with Rodney. And I've met, obviously I've met Holly because of the Holly Rod Foundation that they have. But I actually had met her before that because back when Rodney was quarterback for the Redskins, my nephew played for them. The one that played for the Chargers, he played 1 year for the Redskins, and he was there when Rodney was there. And we saw Rodney and Holly on the plane leaving LA to go back to DC, and then we saw him again, after the game. Okay. Thanks, DLD. Thank you. See you tomorrow. And I'll go back in that video and repost my my thing about that sandwich that ain't nobody checking for. Ain't nobody checking for that Popeye's chicken sandwich. No one is checking for that sandwich. I'm like, all of these people they don't remember that this is the same sandwich that they had a long time ago. They just changed the bun and put some sauce and put a pickle on it. But the chicken part of it is pretty much the same as it was before. Do not let them fool you into thinking it. They had the chicken sandwich before, and it was never a big seller for Popeyes. It was never a big seller for them. So then it would basically be like on regional menus, like in different, like on local menus. And then you could probably get it if you were like in Texas or in Louisiana, but the rest of the United States didn't have it. So they just reinvented it and tested it, found out, by doing this, this, and this, and this, now we've made a so-so seller into a bestseller. Marketing. It's all their marketing. But it's the same damn sandwich they had before. They just changed the daggone bread and put a pickle on it. And personally, I don't like pickles on my chicken sandwiches. That's just me. When I get them from Chick-fil-A, I pick that pickle off and throw it off. I don't like pickles on sandwiches at all. I don't like pickles on sandwiches at all. I don't like it if I'm eating a burger. I don't like it if I'm having a cold cut sandwich. I only eat pickles like dill pickles or sour pickles, like it's the pickle by itself. I'm eating the whole pickle. But yeah, slices of pickles, I don't like them on my sandwiches. But you know, that's just me. You know, but supposedly this time, according to DLD's video earlier, it's here to stay. Good for them. I told y'all what I'm doing. I'm looking into buying stock because the company that owns them pays out dividends. We like dividends over here. So I can make money off of all the people who want to go eat those daggone chicken sandwiches, just like the company is. Let me be a shareholder. That's where I would be. Ah, you're funny, Matt. Exactly. Exactly. You got to protect yourself. And people acting stupid about the most stupid sandwiches. It's just a freaking chicken sandwich. You know, it's a good chicken sandwich, but nonetheless, it's just a chicken sandwich. And these aren't, we know that they're not using free-range chickens. So it's at some chicken farm, you know, where they get the chickens, because we already know that they fatten up their stuff. I mean, you can look at the chickens. I mean, yeah, that's why I don't eat Popeye's chicken that much. It's good, flavor, seasoned and everything, but I'm well aware that all these chickens that you get at these restaurants and everything, they fatten them up and stuff. I'm like, you know, they're genetically mutated. I mean, they're chicken, but they did something. They put stuff in their feed to make them blow up. So they have fat breasts. So that they can have, you know, so they have bigger, their wings are bigger, so that the little wings, you know, are bigger, so that the drumsticks have more meat on them. That's what they're doing. So and that's what they're doing in order to give y'all that specific cut of the chicken breast, so that they have it looking like that. I mean, if you go back, seriously, if you guys go back and you look, you will find that Popeyes had a chicken sandwich before on their menu. And it was within the last 10 years. They just added it back to the menu. You know, after they went and figured out some way to make their sandwich more appealing. Because I swear it was flavored the same as it is now. The last time they had it, I'm telling you, I think the only thing that's different is that they added the pickle and they changed the bun. And they buttered the bun like their biscuits are buttered. And you know how we love that butter. So it's just, you know, what they did to make it more Terminator chickens. Yeah, it's ridiculous. But I saw something somewhere. I don't know whose channel it was, but somebody had on their channel that you better watch out for this chicken sandwich, because have you noticed that lady, the black lady that they have that promotes everything, she ain't done no ads promoting the chicken sandwich. Probably because they don't need her to promote the daggone chicken sandwich. After the craze, and then you have all these people who are posting videos talking about it like it's the second coming of Christ or something. That's what's going on. It's like, I was like, and sheep just following. They just following. They listen to them people and they going and following them and going and standing in them crazy little lines and stuff. What the heck? What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? I'm like, our country has so much type 2 diabetes, and type 2 diabetes can be cured by changing your freaking lifestyle and not eating things like, I don't know, these chicken sandwiches that everybody keeps running out to go get in droves. You know, not supposed to eat so much fried food. You need to have more of a plant-based diet. And here's Popeyes promoting more to clog up your arteries so people can have high cholesterol and high blood pressure. I'm just saying. And I like fried chicken, but I generally fry my own daggone chicken. I'm just saying. You know, I mean, some things, there's some health issues that we as a country need to evaluate why we have these health issues. And it's because of our diet. I guarantee if you go back and look at the percentage of Americans who had diabetes, type 2 diabetes, before 1960, and then come forward, you'll find that it has steadily increased as we eat more and more processed and fried foods with the rise of fast food. No, but everybody like daggone chicken. That's the sad thing, you know. Yeah, they primarily place the Popeyes chickens in predominantly minority communities. You know, you don't see a whole bunch of Popeyes chicken in communities that are non-Black. You know, you don't. You just don't. So that's who they're marketing that chicken at. You know, but the interesting thing is that Chick-fil-A, which a lot of people like, you know, but because of certain religious stances that the owners of the company have, some groups don't like them anymore or boycott them for whatever reason, you know, because of that. And, you know, so this just gives them another alternative. Okay, you know, whatever, but it's just not healthy to be eating all this fried food. It just really, really isn't. And culturally, it's a staple for a lot of us. A lot of us grew up on a lot of fried food. I didn't, but a lot of us have, you know, because it's easier to fry it up than it is, you know, to bake it up or to, you know, cook it a different way, or, incorporate other stuff in it, you know. Usually frying is the quickest way to get something done. Me neither. I'm not dying for it. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I like fried chicken. You know, I do. I love it. I love fried chicken. Matter of fact, I had me some fried chicken today. Wasn't Popeyes, you know. If we had like a Founders Day celebration, and we had the food catered in from a Black-owned restaurant, you know. So, and the chicken was good. It was seasoned well, everything, and it didn't, you know. So I ate it. I mean, I love chicken, but I eat it in moderation. Fried chicken, and they gave you the choice of fried or baked because some people, you know, are trying to be healthier. And baked chicken is good too. Oh, you shut down your, yeah. Well, I don't, like I said, I only watch, like for me, I'll watch the news. I'll watch, there's like maybe a couple of shows that I like. But most of the time I don't see it when it comes on, so I have to go watch the replay online. But I don't watch a lot of TV. I like to watch Netflix because I like to watch some of the movies and stuff on there because they have a lot of movies and stuff and comedy specials and stuff that are not on regular TV. Or they have old movies that I just want to see again. And then a lot of the stuff that I don't get to see, you can see the last season of it on Netflix. So it's cool. It's not as expensive as cable. It's like a fourth of the price of cable. You know, I don't know anybody who has cable that doesn't somehow have $100 a month bill because they always get you to bundle it with other stuff. So, oh yeah, I like Taco Tuesdays. I like to get shrimp tacos. There's a place that has shrimp tacos that are so good. They are so good. I mean, all their tacos are good. But on Taco Tuesday, their regular tacos are, I think, $1.50, and the shrimp tacos are $2. They usually cost $2.50. So it's a 50-cent saving on Taco Tuesday. So I'll get me like 3 of the shrimp tacos. You know, that's my, you know, and then, you know, or my son will get like the ground turkey tacos. I love tacos. And you can always get, you know, hard or soft shell. Tacos to me are healthy because you also have lettuce, tomatoes, onion. Let's see who. Oh, me? Celebrities that I've seen and, you know, known, I'm not going to tell. I don't do that. And most of them aren't, like, people, a lot of people that I know, they're not that big now as they were at that time. And most of the people I knew were in the music industry. Yeah, I knew a few people. And I saw things, you know, but I don't care. Let them do them. I don't know if the new chicken sandwich is good, Terry. I haven't gone. I'm not willing to go stand in that line. And because of that, because of the chicken sandwich craze, I haven't even been to Popeyes. I like the butterfly shrimp. That's what I usually would get when I go to Popeyes, but I ain't been, so I don't know. According to some people, it's the second coming of Christ, though. You know, some of these YouTubers exaggerate, and then some of them tell the truth that it's a good sandwich, but it's not that big a deal. And I tend to believe that because I remember the previous chicken sandwich. I liked it. It was good. It was good the way it was before. You know, but the thing is that they used to have it on a biscuit, and they didn't have anything on it with it, so it was dry. So I think that's part of the thing, because they had it on the biscuit, and it was probably a smaller sandwich than it is now. Oh yeah, I did have some chicken today. It wasn't Popeyes. It was a catered lunch at church. I had a wing, and then I had some fish. But I had one wing. And I had some fish, and I had some collard green, and I had some mac and cheese. And I had a salad. And I ate the salad last. I ate everything first, and then I ate my salad last, like the people in France do. In France, the salad is the last thing that is served in a traditional French meal. So I ate my salad last. My chicken wing was good. It was seasoned well. It was probably the first piece of fried chicken I didn't have, because I've been making some chicken for my son, because he's had some fried chicken lately. I haven't though, because I was making it for him. Those people are tripping. They tripping, Terry. It's, you know, I mean, it's like sheep. It's like sheep. I swear, it's like sheep. You know, wish it was that. Wish the lines like that were like that vote for voter registration. You know, people getting registered to vote. They so busy buying a daggone sandwich. I mean, it's just insane. I mean, I'm trying to think. Have I driven past a Oh yeah, I drove past a Popeyes yesterday. I didn't even look. I was busy going where I was going. But that Popeyes always has a line around the, you know, a long line for drive-through, and it didn't look any longer than it normally does, because it's always long. And I don't like that particular Popeyes, because they always get your order wrong if you go through the drive-through, and they're slow as hell if you go inside. So I can only imagine how they're handling the chicken sandwiches. Yeah. So I've only been like driven past it. I just was driving, but what I heard is that there's another Popeyes that is in South Central, like on Jefferson and La Brea, right on the corner, and they're saying that people are out in the street, blocking the street in their cars going through their drive-through. Yeah, they also have a long line, and they have a little teeny parking lot. And I've heard it's ridiculous over there as far as people going through their drive-through, but it wasn't that bad going inside. But yeah, they're acting a fool in LA. Yeah, a pure V fool over that stupid sandwich. For real, for real. It's not as bad as it is in other places, but they've got lines at least that are to the door of the restaurants. You know what I mean? And if it's anything like it was before, my understanding is that people are waiting up to 30 minutes for them stupid sandwiches. So, I don't know. Hey, closed on Sunday. How are you? Thank you for coming through. I appreciate you coming through. Don't forget to smash that like button, please. Yeah, we're just kind of towards the end of our night, our live for tonight. Oh, that's cool. We're only going to be on for maybe another, I say 15 minutes. We will be on for about another 15 minutes. I appreciate you coming in. Yeah, I know I come on at a kind of weird time, depending on what part of the country you're in. If you're on the West Coast, it's perfect time for the West Coast. It's perfect time if you're in Pacific time. Not so good if you're in Eastern time, because it's after midnight if you're on the East Coast. And now it's now almost 2:30 in the morning if you're on the East Coast. Thank you, Blind Nita. But, man. Yeah, people are tripping about them stupid chickens. Them stupid chicken sandwiches. Yep. So it's definitely almost 2:30 for you closed on Sunday. I'm from the East Coast too. I think but here's the thing, when I go to visit my dad for Christmas, which I'm hoping is going to happen. If I go visit my dad for Christmas, I'm still going to be doing my nightly shows, but I will probably do them at what is 9:30 East Coast time when I'm on the East Coast, because I'm not going to sit up until 12:30, so that I'm doing it at 9:30 West Coast time. So I'll probably do it East Coast time while I'm in North Carolina. So I haven't figured out, and that's why I'm glad that I can do the lives on my phone, because I'll be able to have that option if I don't necessarily take my laptop with me, which I probably won't. There's too much stuff. Unless I have to work while I'm there, I'm not even going to take my personal laptop with me at Christmas, because I'm not really trying to do that. But I'm definitely going to be doing my YouTubing. I'm definitely going to be doing my YouTube vlogs. I think I'll have some good material from, just being around my family and everything. So I think that'll be fun. And it looks like my son is probably going to go with me, because I don't think his dad is going to be able to get off because of his coworker, losing his dad. And now between him and his sister, they got to figure out who's going to help with, I guess, taking care of his mother. So he's in a similar situation to my ex-husband, because my ex-husband went through that same situation with his mom last year, and they had to put her into a conservatorship, and she now lives with his younger sister, so that nobody is taking advantage of her, And I think that's one of the reasons why he wants to put our son into one, because he's afraid someone's going to take advantage of him. But no one's going to take advantage of him as long as we're around. So that's why I told him, I'm like, let's wait, because every year we revisit whether we should do it. But if he continues to get more independent, then we might still do it on one or two things. But I don't want, I know I will never be in favor of putting my son into a full conservatorship for every, I just can't do that to him. I don't feel that it's fair to him. I don't think it's fair to him. But I may change my mind, It's just how I feel about the situation now, because it realistically takes certain rights away from him, and you can't give the rights back to him. Once you take them away from him through a conservatorship, you can't undo it. And so that's the reason why I'm waiting until we're to the point where we definitely know we have to go that route. Oh, really? So he doesn't care for Black people along with the alphabet community. I'll have to take a look at that, Terry. I'll look on your FB page. I knew there's been a couple of controversies, but since I don't really eat meat, I don't go to Chick-fil-A either. Because I'm trying to think where the closest Chick-fil-A is to me. Okay. And it's like that. But they have Chick-fil-A's in Black areas. So that's really interesting that he would make them crazy comments, especially since I know he employs Black people. I just think that's really interesting. You know what I mean? I will definitely check that out, though. Yeah, but I don't really go to Chick-fil-A. And not because of their stances, but because it's not like there's a Chick-fil-A that's actually conveniently located to me. And then number two, I don't really eat fast food. Yeah, because I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking the closest Chick-fil-A is at least 5 miles away. So, yeah, that part. And, yeah, it's 5 miles away. And it's like literally across the street from the South Bay Galleria. So when I lived where I used to live, it was about 3 miles from where I lived. And I still wasn't driving all the way over there. I would have to be right by Chick-fil-A for me to go to Chick-fil-A. You know what I mean? Otherwise, yeah, I'm not intentionally going to be going to Chick-fil-A. So they don't have to worry about getting my money either. Popeyes, I'm looking into what kind of stock investments I can make and as to whether that will be beneficial to me. Because I figure if they're going to be having this sandwich around and fools are going to be running out there to go get it, then let me try to reap some of the profits through a dividend. Through a dividend. Let me go find me some stock in the parent company. Well, it's the parent company. Yeah, it's the parent company. Because when you roll all the way up to the parent company, it's American owned. Yep. And the parent company is based in the United States. I never liked them. I would always take the crust off and eat the inside. That's what I would do as a kid. So I like to make shepherd's pies. I love making shepherd's pies. And if I can figure out how to set it up in my kitchen, I may, you know, film me making it from, you know, doing the different steps of it from scratch and put it on YouTube. I just haven't figured out how to set it up because, you know, I film everything on my iPhone. I don't have a camera yet, so I have to figure it out. Yeah, I love shepherd's pie. I love it because I love potatoes. I love potatoes. And then, you know, sometimes I use fresh vegetables, except for the corn. Yeah, no. Corn, that's always going to be probably primarily frozen because I don't like to get the can. But the other vegetables, sometimes I'll cut up my carrots, use fresh carrots, use fresh, you know, peas and stuff, and fresh green beans. Yeah, I know. I have the what you call it? I have a ring light with the stand for it. And then I also have I have another mini ring light that's on a clip thing that you can clip on like a cabinet door. So I have two different things. I just have to figure out where to set it up, and so that I can angle it at the right angle so I can, you know, show what I'm doing. But you know, if I can't do it that way, then what I'll do is that I'll literally like film certain parts of it and put them together and then do some parts of it off camera. I know that's crazy to me, Terry, though. I mean, you know, the folks that are standing in them lines are just, it don't make no sense to me. It makes no sense at all. You know? And then it's so funny because so many people are coming up with like their own version of the Popeyes, you know, basically, you know, the chicken breast sandwich or whatever, you know, or with healthy alternatives to it. And they're putting those on YouTube. And those are interesting. I might try one of those and see what it tastes like, you know, using one of the people's recipes of the ones that I follow, you know, but I can't see me standing in that daggone line. I may eventually try the sandwich in its new form. You know, when they ain't got people standing in line, people getting stabbed and killed and, you know, whatnot, people fighting in the restaurants and that kind of craziness, but I figure those lies are going to be going on for a minute because, we have sheep. Sheep are asleep. Sheep are asleep. Once again, to me, that chicken sandwich is just a distraction. A distraction. Because notice how that chicken sandwich came out right around the time of some places having, like elections and stuff. What the heck? So the weekend before the elections, you were getting coverage for a chicken sandwich instead of coverage about, the elections that were going on and stuff. I'm just saying. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But, I'm woke, so I guess that's why, And, and then again, there's a lot of people who think the whole situation is ridiculous with people standing in line for that daggone chicken sandwich. A lot of us can see that it's just a distraction from what we really need to be talking about. Because, guess what? In 2 days, by Tuesday? Or is it Wednesday? Wednesday. In 3 days, we're going to be talking about impeachment hearings. That's what we're going to be talking about in 3 days. We won't even be talking about this daggone sandwich in 3 days. Because they're going to be impeaching the president or trying to. And I hear the things they're saying, and I guess I'm going to listen because I want to hear, because I believe that he's probably done some things that are improper. I just don't know how severely improper they are. But I do think that some of them are probably so severe that something should happen. But I just think that it's going to be very hard to make something happen to him as the sitting president. That's all I'm saying. It'll probably be all over the internet, Blind Needle. I'm sure it's going to be on Facebook. I'm sure it's going to be all over Twitter. I'm sure we will have no problem finding it on regular TV too. I'm sure it's going to be the only thing that you're going to be able to see, on regular TV probably. Reminiscent of the Anita Hill hearings. It's going to be one of those kind of things. It's going to be all we're going to see, but the reality is that it's been going on already. It's just been behind closed doors, so we don't know what the heck was going on. So now they're going to share things with the public. So to me, that means they must feel that they have enough that they can get what they want. But here's my thing. In getting rid of this president, what's your alternative? That's all I'm saying. Because I certainly don't want Mike Pence. I do not want Mike Pence. So what is your alternative? And we're still waiting for an answer. Still waiting for an answer. Yeah, I just hope whatever the truth is that we hear what the real truth is and not what they want us to hear. That's all I hope, because that's what should happen, but I don't have that confidence, because neither side in Congress or in the Senate is unbiased. So who knows what we're going to get. But we're going to talk about it. We certainly are going to have an opinion about it. And the only way for us to have an opinion about it is we have to at least watch some of it. So we'll just see how much of it is that we can stomach and how much of it is, information that we need to know. Yeah, I mean, Matt, I agree, but the thing is that how they gonna get this man out of office? If they impeach him, who's gonna be able to get that man out of the White House? That's my thing. So other than voting him out, but I'm not confident that that's going to happen with whatever we're being presented by the opposing party. So it's going to be real interesting. Yeah, nobody is above the law. I'm just saying that who they have lined up right behind him is worse than him. And that man pretends to be a Christian. Lord help us. Okay, he spouts that he's a Christian, but he has really crazy extremist ideology. So yeah, no, we don't want him. I hear you, Matt. I hear you. Okay, where are we? Oh, it's okay. So it is. We have gone over. We have made our 2 hours, and it's not midnight yet here on the West Coast. And I think that we're good, and I think we should get out of here before we get a troll. Because we've had a good conversation where it's just who wanted to be here and not any crazies tonight. So I think we should leave before we get those, because they do come in at some point. And since they don't have a life and we all do, I'm going to end it. And I will see you guys tomorrow night on Veterans Day. And I will say, for anybody who is a veteran, thank you for your service. And until tomorrow, everybody, I'm going to say peace from the West Side. Bye, everybody.